Hello, investors. Nick Shaheen here looking at BLNK charging stations. The BLNK is the ticker. I was discussing it in the chat room. I figured we'd bring it out to the public. I don't have a trade on it. Interesting arena, clearly, last year. And most likely will not die this year with the new mindset that EVs are the way to go. And if that's the case, we have hundreds of millions of we have, let's say, a decade worth of switching over from ICE engines, internal combustion engines, into EV. So the stations will be in demand. So if they can supply it, then they will have clients. So let's talk stock today. I'm not going to talk the fundamentals. That's on you. So clearly it has had a few bad days, and today is up 7%, but it's 30% off the highs, right? So is that an end of the world? No, it's falling into support. This little node here was pivotal on the way up, so it should provide support on the way down, and that's probably what's going on here. I do pay attention to this peak right there. So if I were to pick a number, 34.5 looks pretty interesting. And the actual volume profile tells me that I should also pay attention to 30, which is that orange line. It's basically it's called the point of control. This tells me where most of the trading happened for this period of time that we're looking at. And this comes from early November on to now. Today is the 5th of January, and there are a couple of paths. So the bounce is great. It's going into resistance. Basically, every ledge on the way down will become a problem on the way up. Problem/opportunity. So it won't be easy to slice through them. It shouldn't be easy. So I drew it up by hand. I figured I'd share them and talk you through it. I see support here, another support zone around that orange line that I mentioned, and support below it at a hard bounce off of 25. So plenty of support versus a descending trend of lower highs. And they're trying to hold them. So they can either continue on and tackle the first problem area and fade a little bit, come back to it, beat it, come back and test it for footing, and then repeat the process at every resistance line, or not break out here, succumb to this supply zone here that should be there, and then just fade one more time and see if they can hold this base that they just established over, what is this, 2-hour chart. So that's like 8 hours of candles here, and then attack the descending trend line again. And if they lose it, maybe they fall a little bit more. It all depends on the market probably. And then find footing somewhere in this support zone, and then try to tackle these resistances with a better, more rounded base. Either way, the buyers are in control. Why do I say that? Because they're establishing a trend of higher lows. Yes, we have lower highs coming into a point. So the range went from expanded into a pinpoint, really, 7% in the stock is pinpoint. So something's got to give here. So in the short term, there should be a commitment up or down. I think if the commitment is down, will be a buying opportunity for somebody that's wants to get long. Somebody that wants to get long term, you shouldn't be trying to time it, because that's a long-term bet. You shouldn't be even watching this video. Somebody is trying to fade it, I would put tight stops, because every one of these, yes, fadeable spots is an opportunity. Beat it and it becomes the base for something else, for the other opportunity. So it is tradable for sure. And the action has tightened into where something's going to give. I can't believe, that 7% move is not something already, but it's going into another pivot. Like you can see it right here. You can draw a line right there to see there's going to be a battle. So it shouldn't be easy. There's a little cluster right here. It shouldn't be easy. Just for the same reason this little cluster is providing support, this little cluster should be a problem on the way up / opportunity. So I know somebody's going to say, oh my God, this guy's an idiot saying it's the problem. I'm just telling you where logically there should be some sellers. What's wrong with falling and then establishing the fact that this will support? So fall a little bit and come back, and it looks like a little cup and handle-ish. All that is really, it's a neckline that's going to fail. cup and handles, inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call them. They're all the same concept. You come to a point that has failed before, and then it doesn't fail one more time, and it just becomes a trigger to where the bears are saying, oh, okay, you got me. So, or the bulls, in case if it's a head and shoulders. So in this case, we have an ascending trend line. The assumption is that it continues. What you don't want to happen is this bounce fade, come back to here, and this fails, and then you have like an inverse cup and handle, and then they will test the 29.30 to 25. Again, somebody's going to come out and say, this idiot called it to 25. I didn't call it to 25. I said the bulls are in control. If they lose 36 and change, they would give the bears a mini gift to where they can, the bears, try to take down 35 and 33 and try to come to 30 to 25, at which point would be another opportunity to try longs. So if I get long here, I will put a stop below the prior base that got me long because I don't want to ride it down. If I'm an investor long term, doesn't matter. If I'm a trader trying to swing trade it, I don't want to ride it below 37, 36 and a half, because I'd rather pick my entry lower. All right, next signing up. Oh, there's a link to the chat room down below if you want to give it a whirl. It goes to PayPal. The transaction is $0. You have 10 days to look it over and spit in my face. The only reason there is a PayPal front door is because I want serious people, no trolls. Although I have I need to protect my community. We have hundreds of traders in there, and I don't want to subject them to somebody who comes in just to cause ruckus.